Explanation for why Raiders, Antonio Brown was so upset. So Antonio Brown said to him, he told me not to come in Thursday, bad my name, then come to work, give two papers after the press conference. No.
Basically, he had his press conference apologizing, falling on his sword, and then they said, oh, by the way, you're fined and we're voiding all your guaranteed money. We had Charlie Casserly on earlier, and he said, if you're the team, you should have laid all that out before the guy goes and apologizes and then goes and talks to the team. So that's the one area in all of this that
But nobody's disputing that he actually did what he did to warrant the fine.
Understood.
No. Okay, so that's a fact.
That's why I'm saying.
Okay, well,
this was all by his own doing. Ian, explain this a little bit more.
Yeah, my understanding of this whole thing is the reason for Antonio Brown's frustration, the reason that he asked to be released in an Instagram post this morning is strictly because he apologized in his mind. He believes he did the right thing. Told the team he was sorry, did the press conference, and then they fined him afterward, and then all the stuff came out about, obviously, all the bad true things that he had done, including the confrontation with Mike Mayock, seeming to blame the Raiders for this. And then the final thing was no guaranteed, no way, a clear indication that he does not want to step on the practice field or the game field unless he has guaranteed money, which, by the way, note to any team that may end up signing him, he wants guaranteed money as part of this deal. And yes, there's been a lot of very, very bad headlines surrounding Antonio Brown over the course of the last couple weeks and months. This is a very good football player. The season is about to start. You have to think somebody will sign Antonio Brown.
Somebody will, I'm sure, but it's just a matter of who.
We've seen it before where a guy is a headache for one team and the other team, it didn't happen.
But he's a headache for two teams, two of them.
Which is what the Raiders thought, by the way.
But it didn't happen in front of us.
Ian.
Thank you, Ian. Didn't happen in front of us. Didn't happen in our locker room. So he'll come here, and don't worry, we'll set him straight. Same thing on the other end, too. It's a fresh start for him somewhere else. Well, this team, X team, they didn't do anything to me, so I'm going to reset and focus in and lock in.
And
leap of faith, though.
Everybody thinks they can change the person, right? Mm-hmm. We've all had friends and relationships that, that person might not be the best for us, but, man, I can change him. I can change him. Think about a team who's changed a lot of people. I know we're always throwing out New England because when you win, it cures everything. But what about the Dallas Cowboys now? They've had some knuckleheads that Jerry Jones has brought in there.
Recently, have they won, D-Hall? Come on now. Be real.
Saying,
be real. Recently, have they won? I'm not saying have a good business
I might can see
to make money.
Dallas, man. I'm just saying.
I don't know about that.
If it makes sense, too, money-wise, I mean.
But, something you said yesterday was interesting, too, because we talk about how players, they're really hard to change. People, it's hard to change
Adversity
everybody.
changes people.
But you said that you changed, and it was from something that happened with the Raiders.
Yeah, I was just joking when we were going to break, like, AB, he got my record because everybody joked me. Man, how you get cut? You signed a $70 million contract. How'd you get cut in 8 games? And it was really no wrongdoing of myself. Everybody's laughing because they think I did something crazy when I really didn't. It was just Al Davis. At that point in the offseason, he had spent so much money. We had Jamarcus Russell at the quarterback position. We had a lot of other players, a lot of great defensive players. But as with anything in this league, it runs through your quarterback. And by the third or fourth game, well, maybe fifth game, we probably had 1 win. I had like 3 picks. So, I was balling personally. But Al Davis was like, look, man, you were the last one to come to the team. We need some of that guaranteed money back. And the way my deal was structured was kind of weird. I got $8 million in year 1, like 18, 19 in year 2, and kind of went up. And I'm telling Al, like, I can't redo my deal unless I get let me get to year 2 first. And I was just like, man, don't show up. And I was like, all right, cool. But it took a little bit of that humbling experience. Like I said, it takes being in a situation that really takes the game away from you and has people really questioning your ability. And we thought that was it for AB from Pittsburgh, right? Mm-hmm. We thought that was it. So maybe it takes something more to galvanize him, to get him to really understand that you're not bigger than this game. None of us are. None of us
But if you keep getting chances, you keep getting paid, you keep getting opportunities, eventually the player thinks, I am, because I keep doing what I want to do, and I continue to get the opportunity.
When your talent level depreciates along with your not thinking right and not doing things the right way, starts to outweigh what you can do and what you can bring to the table, he's still balling right now. We'll admit that.
I have
in
a
2
question.
years, it's not going to be the same.
I have a question for Mike Robert D. Hall. Let's look at this. We haven't done this at all this morning. It's been all about the interactions between teammates. But X's and O's. This team prepared an entire offseason, playbook, scheme, practices, everything around we're going to have ourselves a guy that's going to draw coverage.
When
and all
Derek Carr walks up to the line of scrimmage, I can guarantee you there were times at practice where Gruden is saying, look, when AB's over here, they're going to rotate over there. We can guarantee we're going to get a corner and a safety look on that half of the field. That's gone. That's gone. That's called a tell. In offensive football, that's called a tell, right? When you're able to put your best receiver on one side of the field and the entire defense shifts and operates to it, that gives the quarterback a tremendous amount of information, and now he can put the ball where he needs to put it. That element is gone. I call that street credibility. Julio Jones just got paid. Everywhere he lines up, 2 sets of eyes are looking at him. Matt Ryan now has the coverage dictated for him. The Oakland Raiders offense has lost that ability right now.
And they lost the ability, too, to, like you said, knowing where AB is, he's going to draw a safety out there. That makes it easier to run the football. You just heard MJ talk about that running back, that rookie running back who's ready to run the football. It's going to be into some 8-man boxes now when it was 7 with AB.
We talked about it yesterday with Gronk and Josh Gordon. You said he was going to be that guy. You've now schemed up things off of that. You've built your entire offense around that. Yeah. And now on the eve of the season, well, they play Monday night, but right before the season, that's gone, and now all these plans that you had,
got to rip it up like you did with our show.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So, yes, Antonio Brown is now an unrestricted free agent. Ian Rappaport, he's been with us all morning long. He's been tweeting all morning long. So now what for AB, Ian?
Well, just got a message from Drew Rosenhaus, Antonio Brown's longtime agent. I'll read it to you quickly. He says, now that Antonio is a free agent, we are focused on the future, and I will immediately work on signing him to a new team, obviously meaning after 4 p.m. today when it becomes legal. Antonio is looking forward to a new beginning, which is clear anyway, considering this was the guy who asked for his release. And, you know, so rarely, guys, do we see a player essentially shoot his way out of town. That is what Antonio Brown did. If this was his goal after receiving the fine from the Oakland Raiders, $215,000 for punting a football and yelling at Mike Mayock, if this was what he wanted, he actually got his wish. So now the Raiders, without one of the best players on their football team, move on to the season, and AB gets to have an entirely new team, possibly even before the start of the season, which is just crazy.
It really is, and considering the Raiders only lose essentially a third and a fifth-round pick in this.
Well, yeah, you don't
which
like
is
which
is a lot.
Yeah,
it
you
is,
don't like the
that's legitimate. But when you have like $30 million on the table.
Yeah, and the other thing, so if my timeline's right, if he's not able to sign with somebody until 4 o'clock today,
he can't play this week.
He can't play this week.
So
he's out for week 1. We know that, unless he signs with the Broncos, because that's who they're playing on Monday.
That would be amazing. Ian, you have to,
Ian,
keep us posted in case that happens.
I don't know. He may not be eligible for that. I don't know how that specifically works. But the long story short is that we probably won't see Antonio Brown on a football field this weekend. You wonder how quickly we will, though. And I just, you know, there's teams that are just going to be salivating over the thought of that ability added to their team right now, and then all that attention the defense has to pay to one guy.
You sign him, you pay him. If you sign him, you pay him. You continue to create what is already there. Money doesn't change you; it just reveals more of what you are.
And you think somebody pays him $15, $12 million a year?
I don't know. I hope not, but
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We shall see, indeed, and keep it here because we'll have Mike Silver coming up in a little bit, and I'm sure we'll have something from Antonio Brown coming up as well. I'm sure he'll post something, so don't worry.
Somebody call him, tell him to get on the show.
We're glued to the timeline.
I put the alerts back on.
Good.
I missed the one this morning, but I'm ready now.
Antonio Brown released by the Raiders today. posted this on his Instagram this morning at 9:01 Eastern, 6:01 Pacific. And as you can see here, he's asking for the Raiders to release him. We had Ian at Rappaport on a little bit earlier, and he said that the Raiders believe that they can void his $30 million in guaranteed money there. And it's just this story has been out of control from the jump, and it's just accelerated. It's just been getting crazier and crazier. And I said yesterday,